Hi, this is Kyaa Chimera, and we are on Nerds After Dark. I'm really excited to talk about who I am with y'all and hopefully soon get into some fun, nerdy stuff. You can find me everywhere online. Just search my name, Kyaa Chimera.
Uno, dos, uno, dos, tres. Pose. Pretty. Uno, dos, tres. Pose.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Tito P. This is Nerds Rule the World presents the After Dark Nerds show. Nerds After Dark. I'm forgetting my titles. It's been crazy. We've been insanely busy over here. It's been a minute since we've had a new Nerds After Dark show. So I'm so excited that my pal, Erica Icon with the Rub PR, set me up with Kaya the Goddess, aka Kyaa Chimera, which I love that, by the way. We're going to have to talk about that. You see her on the screen. Let's shoot off some air horns. Kaya, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you giving me some of that time because time is precious. We got a lot of things we're doing in the world and life. And so whenever somebody contributes time to have a conversation, I truly appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I think that having these conversations, getting to connect with people, especially people who are in intersectional places, who aren't just in that bubble of the adult entertainment industry, who have other interests, it really helps people understand who I am, what I do, my community, all the better.
I love that. I love that. That's why this show started. And that's kind of where I'm going to lead with, because I'm not sure if you've seen previous episodes, Kaya. World is crazy. There's a lot of content out there. But I started off as a filmmaker, as a creative in the adult world. I was behind the scenes crew, working those projects. I then, kind of splintered into, I guess, the mainstream stuff. But to me, I've always hated that label, mainstream, all of that, because we're all trying to create content. We're all trying to entertain.
Yeah. Well, and what is the most viewed content on the internet? What
Hello.
gets the most views? Hello. So like I'm like by what standards are we saying it's mainstream?
Right? You hit the nail on the head. So that's why when I went quote unquote mainstream, I've never forgotten about my people. I've dived back and forth,
I love
and
that.
now I want to give that platform. Now that my platform has grown, it's talked to the most realist people that I've ever met along this journey into the industry, and that's what this is. So thank you for your time. I want to talk about what you got going on, how you got in it,
Thank you.
and just all the nerdy side stuff too, because this is Nerds Rule the World, and I'm a card carrying nerd,
Hell
Kaya.
yeah. Same here.
So I read that you were a teacher. You were a
Well,
teacher.
I went to school to be a teacher. I never actually
Oh yeah,
taught because when I graduated, like the week I like did my finals, I was like, actually, I don't want to be a school teacher. I want to do something that has to do with kink and sex. I want to work in that world. I wasn't really sure about content production, but definitely I thought like I would do like freaky live shows at punk bars and just like make my way being a weirdo because I was like, if I go down this path of being a school teacher, I have to be straight edge. I can't be fucking
yeah,
around.
yeah.
I had all these grandiose ideas of eventually, going from school teacher to administrator to working in policy and being able to help change the way that kids are taught because I recognized in coming up through school, this is not actually useful at educating people. Something is really wrong with these systems. And then, I started to realize that that's not an accident. The school system is the way it is on purpose. And that improving that would be a Sisyphusian effort. I'd be rolling that ball up the hill, fighting against the tide my whole life to enact very little change and getting paid nothing for it. And I was like, I'd rather be slutty and rich.
I
Little did
respect
I
that.
know that I could change the world and touch hearts and minds and do both.
Yeah,
But that's where I'm at now.
I feel that. No, and I respect you for stating that. Sometimes while we can recognize it's something that needs to be done, we also know that it's that's something that's somewhat bigger than us.
How
And it's
egotistical of me to think like, ooh, I'm gonna fix the whole world. No, live my
yeah,
life, get money, figure out what I'm good at, like find myself. And so I stepped out of the teaching program that I was about to get placed into like some small rural school in New Zealand where I was living at the time, and they would have been locked into teaching kids in some
yeah.
rural town for ages. in order to get residency. I returned to the US and I just immediately dove into Craigslist and found people who, were my type of weirdos, femdoms and findoms. And I got really into that world for a long time, and honed my craft as a dominatrix and doing BDSM lifestyle, and personally, all while being a complete nerd and using all of my disposable income to be a total nerd because it's expensive to be a nerd.
It is
Um,
expensive to be a nerd.
so yeah, all my money has gone towards that. And
Amazing.
then yeah, a few years back, I was like, I really love being a dom, but I also just like sex. I'm also just very openly into my sensuality as a woman. I want to feel what that can be like, and the safest way to do that is with tested partners who know what the hell they're doing. I'm also a voyeur and an exhibitionist, so like having some cameras around is not a bad thing for me. So I decided to do hardcore, and it still is one of my favorite decisions I've made for myself is to start doing hardcore content because I really, really love making it, and my fans like it too. So
Shout out to them. The Kyaaists, I think I saw
the
is what I read.
Kyaaists,
Love
yeah, it says
Shout
many
out
of
to the
my
Kyaaists
favorite.
out there. I love that. Love that for you. If I can rewind it back a little bit. Again, I
Yeah,
love how when you figured out what you wanted for yourself and that you just dove, right into it, and then
yeah.
we're still all finding our journey. Our journeys change all along the way, but I just
Yeah,
love that you did
I'm
that for
still
yourself and
figuring
you're
it out.
happy because that's so important, you know?
Yeah,
So
for
love
sure.
that, love that, love that. If I can rewind again a little bit more. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to I generally have like a play-by-play questions because certain people you have to lead them there.
Mm,
You're already giving me all the juice, so thank you, Kaya.
you're welcome.
When did you find out for yourself that you were a sexual being and what you wanted out of life? Because from what like you said, you were jumping on crazes, but
Yeah.
did it happen in college or were you already knowing that growing up?
So
Where did you find who you
I'll
are inside?
I'll say this. The week I turned 18, I went to my first munch, which I had previously researched and knew what it was. Do you know what a munch is?
Not offhand. It sounds somewhat
So a
familiar, but I'm
munch
not
is
placing it.
an informal hangout for people who are in the BDSM community.
Okay.
So it's like, everyone might have a munch at a bar or a cafe. This one was at a bar where the drinking age is also 18 in New Zealand. And I was just there for college. I'm not from New Zealand. I was just there for college. And yeah, I literally already had researched this group and had waited months to be able to go because I was like, I have to be legal. Um, and yeah, I showed up raring and ready to go. I've always been okay with sex, nudity. I've never been scared of it. I did not have a high body count until I got into sex work. I was always been very selective. I'll say that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Um, because I'm not going to risk getting something permanent,
Of course.
or being with someone who isn't talented and beautiful and good at doing it. Like, what is the point of sex if you're going to have bad sex? So
Real talk.
I immediately recognized that the only safe way for me to explore the depths that I wanted to explore was going to be through sex work. So I started sex work at 20, 2 years later, 10 toes down, like no other plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out a way to make this work for me.
Okay. Love that for you. So I guess, and with that being said, because when we're making these transitions, it's again that comfortability. You did your homework to a degree. Were you already taking pictures and sharing that with your boyfriend, girlfriend?
I
How
didn't
active
have
were
a
you in that
phone with a
respects?
camera. I didn't, this was 2008 when I started. In 2006, when I turned 18, I didn't have a phone with a camera. I was very much a broke student. I don't come from money and I'm not connected to my parents. So I was just kind of out there making my way in the world.
Yeah.
And when I first started doing online sex work, And I dabbled with some in-person sex work, but none of it was feeling right. Like I went some my people know this lore. I tried strip clubs when I was working in New Zealand, and literally like the first time a guy tried to put his hand on my knee, and he was honestly not being rude. He was just like, "Hey, darling," and I'm like, "Get the fuck, don't fucking touch me." And they're like, "With
Yeah.
this attitude, you're never gonna get paid." And I was like, "Then fuck you all. I'm not
Yeah.
letting some random man touch me."
Yeah.
I didn't know I was a dom at the time, and like it took me a while to figure that out. And honestly, like, yeah, I have been very queer and very dominant my whole life, so it took me a while to feel really comfortable and empowered with men. So the kind of like scenes that I do with men are very different now than my early 20s. Like I do hardcore sex with men now and
Yeah.
enjoy it, but I'm in my own confidence enough to be like, these are the boundaries. This is how you can treat me. This is how you can't. When I was younger, I was like, I'm not sure how to set those boundaries, so I'm just not going to let fucking men touch me.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Love that. Love that. Love that. Okay, so we're comfortable with ourselves and our body. We're comfortable and we've done our homework. We know the type
Yeah.
of men we want to share our body with.
Yeah.
When did we find out we're a dom? Okay, that's again that kink
Yeah.
side. Like,
Well, I knew I
what
was
first
really
turned you into
kinky.
that nature?
Yeah, I knew I was really kinky. Like I said, when I was 18, I was extremely interested in BDSM. Anything to do with BDSM, I was obsessed with. I would look at like the old kink.com videos from the early 2000s. I would obsess over random like scenes of bondage in movies and stuff like that, like Wonder Woman. Do you know what I mean? Like just completely obsessed with anything to do with whips and chains. I saw the movie The Secretary in 2006. I was like, what is this? I'm freaking out.
Yeah, yeah,
And of course, being 18 and a girl, everyone's like, well, you're obviously very submissive. And I tried all these things and none of it's hitting. None of it's hitting. I'm trying
yeah.
all these things with different guys and different women and trying, none of it's hitting. And then when I returned to the US, I decided to seek out sex work. I found these girls on Craigslist, Sierra Lynch, Princess Monique, and Princess Renee, who are all like old school, non-nude femdom, findoms. And they told me about Night Flirt. They told me about Clips for Sale. And I went home and I didn't turn my lines off for years. Like I literally would sleep with them on and wake up at like 3 in the morning, like, kiss my foot, loser.
Let's go.
um,
Yeah,
because I found my true calling. Like
yeah.
I found that thing that I can do that never doesn't ever feel like work and you can do it forever. Like I'll still be making fun of losers and getting paid when I'm 80. I don't care. I'll never stop. I love it.
Let's go. I love that for you. And I just wish, I don't know, as a guy, like it's kind of, I don't know. Well, what do you think about that? The perspective on because there are male doms and all things, but I don't think they're as successful as
There
femdom.
are plenty of extremely successful male doms, but you
Okay.
need to be, if not bisexual, then very comfortable with bisexual and gay men and
Okay.
making fun of them sexually,
Gotcha.
for sure. Your
Yeah.
clients are never going to be women.
Yeah.
Women,
Yeah.
the reason sexual humiliation is hot for men in our society is because it is not the social more. The social more is sexual humiliation for women. Women are humiliated for being sexual beings.
Yeah.
Men get to be proud of being sexual beings. So the kink of that is the flip, them submitting and being humiliated, the way that most people think of women when they're sexual beings.
Yeah, I find it so fascinating. I have so many friends. Now you're my friend as well now, but that are in this industry, and I just
Mhm.
like, girl, go ahead. I love hearing the stories, and it's just amazing to me. And just go ahead. Let's go. So you're doing this. You're doing the doming. I'm like getting into my whole like an anthology track of what
Mm-mm.
timelines. We're out of college. We're doing it. So the shift from Dom into now adult star and that comfortability switch. What made
Yeah.
you decide to do that switch? I
Well,
guess.
initially, I just wanted to start doing nude femdom and like sensual femdom because I saw that there was this very strong in the 2000 teens, there was this very strong on the internet, especially uh, we call the horarchy, which is the
Mm,
hierarchy of whores. where in sex work do you rank and how good are you for what you do? And some people who do non-nude sex work don't even think of it as sex work, and they think they're better than people who might do nudity. Or
Yeah.
people who only do porn might think that they're better than somebody who does full service, etc.
Hmm.
There's always people trying to somehow say I'm better than this person because the way I do sex work is safer or more empowering or more whatever. That's bullshit. I think that there's no difference between any form of sex work, and that expands out to regular actresses who make money off of being hot, or WWE stars, and they're out there wrestling each other, slamming asses on stage. It's
Yeah.
sex work. Let's be honest. It's a
Completely
fetish thing.
agree.
An obsession with bodies. At that
Hmm.
point, it's body work. You're getting people off in one way or another. Let's all be performers together.
Completely agree.
So
Yeah.
I saw that as being extremely problematic. And having done non-nude for years, people would often say to me, like, "Oh, Kaya, I'm so glad you don't ever get naked. You're so much better than da 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 who gets naked." And I'm like, "Fuck you. My
Yeah.
body's hot, one. I deserve to show it off." And I started thinking to myself, do I really want to be out here not documenting the gorgeousness of my naked body and profiting off of it? So
Yeah.
I started doing nude photo sets. And I've always approached it with an extremely artistic eye. You'll notice that my content tends to be very high quality, tends to be themed. Like you see the pictures you have behind me, like I can do pretty girl or I can do evil dom. But either way, I elevate whatever I do. And so, from the very first nude sets I released, it was all about elevated worship of my image. And my fans loved it, and it took off from there.
Love that. You're building your brand. You have a brand that you want to have.
Yes,
And like that's
yes.
all a part of that. Like I love you taking control instead of letting other
I
people take control of it.
I love the iconic look that I have, and what I've created out of my content over this like 18 years I've been doing content. And I want to be like Elvira.
Yeah.
I want that iconic, lasting, hot Domme mommy model look, and I want everyone to know who I am for the next several hundred years.
Let's go. Love that. I almost forgot. I just remembered. Uh Kyaa Chimera, did we start off as Kyaa Chimera? Like how did that start? If we can bring
Yeah,
that back.
well, in the early 2000s, princess was a very, very common title, it still is for young doms. So I was Princess Kaya to start with, and then some
Okay.
years later, I went to Dom Kaya. And a bunch of my fans started calling me goddess and talking about being Kyaaists. I didn't start Kyaism like any true religion. It was my ardent followers' belief that birthed that religion. I just listened as they worshipped and responded to it. So yeah, I started going by goddess more and more, and then I slowly changed everything over to goddess, and I started finding very deep personal meaning in that as
Yeah.
well. And when I started doing porn for big time companies, they're like, "Well, you need a last name. We're not going to call you Goddess Kaya." And
Yeah.
I'm like, fair, because I'm not here in goddess mode. I'm here as a body, as a sexual being. I'm still a goddess in my heart, but
Yeah,
I'm
of
not here
course.
to be goddess over anyone. No one needs to use a title for me. Um,
All right, so I think we were talking about Kyaa Chimera and how
yeah.
you
Oh, the
got that
history of
name.
my name.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where we're
So
at.
yeah, the first time I went on a professional porn set, they were like, you need a full name, a last name. And I'd been thinking about it a little bit because I knew this was probably coming. And so I gave the name Chimera. And chimera comes from the fact that as a performer, as a goddess, I have many facets, many parts. A chimera is a mythical being that is multiple animals. You might have, and there are different types of chimera. Everything from the Medusa to a Minotaur. It's something that's a mix of different beings. And I have many parts to me.
I love that. It took my nerd heart when I read that, Kaya, because I was big into mythology, and I still
I'm
am.
huge into mythology. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm huge into mythology. I've studied every type of mythology and pantheon across many parts of the world and many eras. if I feel like if I'm going to become a goddess, I need to understand the history of the gods and goddesses that have been worshipped on this planet. So that's a big part of my soul. And moreover, I'm really into things like D&D and studying, nerdy mythical worlds, fantasy novels. I'm
Oh
into
my
it.
gosh. I love it. You're taking my nerd heart right now, Kaya. I think I'm going to become a Kyaist, most definitely.
I love it.
So, I want to get into that heavy, but because of timing, y'all, we're just gonna make this a part 1 interview, and we're gonna have Kaya come back when time permits to like really
Please,
dig
soon,
into
let me
all things
know.
nerdy. So to close us out, Kaya, I gotta end off how I end off all my interviews because this is Nerds World the World. Because we're gonna have a part 2, you're gonna have to deliver 2 times on this question. If you were to give a nerd style TED talk, nerd talk on something that you're really into,
Mm.
um, that people don't know. What do the Kaists don't know about you that maybe is something you recently got into,
Mm.
or it's maybe something that just people don't know offhand that you're ready to reveal to the world that you could give like something a TED talk on. I've had people say law. I've had like tax law and stuff. Plants. Just everything. What is something that the Kais don't know that you could talk about?
Marine biology.
Okay, let me find out what is it about marine biology?
I have been studying marine biology my whole life. I grew up next to the Pacific Ocean, and I used to spend time volunteering. Like when I was in grade school, I volunteered at a marine research center. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with marine biology. Like literally on my big TV over here is just a live view of an aquarium somewhere.
Love
I
that.
always have like fish, jellyfish, sharks on the TV if I'm not watching something. I love aquariums that are research centers, not for profit. It has to be not for profit. It has to
Yes.
be a research center that takes care of their animals the correct way. I love going tide pooling. I love going to beaches. I do beach cleanups and stuff like that.
Oh, let's
I am
go. I love you,
completely
Kaya.
obsessed with all things marine biology, from
Um,
the microfauna to huge and sperm whales. I know about everything. I have
uh,
a giant octopus on
I
my
was
arm.
curious what that tattoo was. Awesome.
Giant
Okay. We got
octopus.
the octopus queen,
The
king
emperor octopus
octopus,
specifically,
emperor.
which I've spent time with one of those creatures, and he was very smart.
Love that. Yo, Kaya, just this little conversation we've had just now, I'm like loving what you're all about. I'm definitely going to support you and thank you for this time. I'm looking forward to our full length
Thank
conversation, y'all.
you.
We're going to really get in because she's a cosplay queen. She's into all things
Cosplay,
nerdy.
Magic the Gathering, video games, books, records, cassette tapes,
Okay.
VHS collection.
We're going to
Um,
get into it.
I don't
Okay.
know. What else don't I know about? Let's figure
We're
that
gonna do top fives of all of that when we come back the next go round. Shout out to my new pal, Kaya the
out.
Goddess, aka Ky Chimera.
So
Uh,
good.
this has been another After Dark Nerd Show. Sorry it's so short, y'all, but due to time, we're gonna have a part 2. We're gonna get into it more,
Hell yeah.
even deeper with Kaya Chimera. There she is. I'm Tito P, the Nerds After Dark Show. We out of here. Peace.
Nerds After Dark.
It's just a great time to hang out, meet people. I mean, I've had sex with everybody here already, so it's kind of like
Not me.
Yeah, Nerds After Dark coming soon.com. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not getting him beat up or me. Not doing it.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble.
No.
Recording. Let's have some fun. Boom, boom. Everything's on silent. Let's go. In a 1, 2, 3.